up, you guys? It is your girl Ali, or Ali Blog, whatever floats your boat, whatever tickles your pickle. And here on this channel we do lots of things, and in today's video I'm doing my very own flank guide. Now, I have done one on supports and tanking. I've yet to do one on flanking, which will be this video, and then of course damage. And then the other couple videos I'll do are more in-depth videos about positioning, item buying, and other things, because things have changed in Pallies over the years. I think for a lot of us, we can all agree that things aren't the same as they used to be, and I feel like a lot of the guides do need to be updated just because of the changes. However, a lot of the characters, regardless of the balance changes that do come about, for the most part, not that much has changed. For certain characters, yes, but a lot of the newer characters, they're all broken upon release and takes forever to get them balanced. So I'm going to do my best to give all of these videos justice by, including updates, and I was, of course, giving shout outs to like other, people who make better guides and more in-depth, and so happy. So let me know what you think of this video in the comments below. And so for this video, I was trying to play different characters to get footage for it, but I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I'm not that good at flanking. I think you can see that if you've ever been in my streams. I panic way too much as a flank. I dive a little too much sometimes. However, one of my things that I have picked up on as far as playing Maeve and stuff is I learned Maeve from Kami GG, or Kami VS. I don't know which one he goes by now, but really awesome Maeve player. I loved watching him play Maeve, and it was funny because I was always one to play Rogue's Gambit for the longest time. Everyone ragged on Street Justice because it's bruh, there's not two tanks, there's no reason to go it. So of course when you're learning Maeve, that's the first talent, you're gonna play it, whatever. I was hard-headed and kind of didn't like Cat Burglar for a while because I felt like it was cheating. Not cheating, but I'm just bruh, you get given extra damage and 2 daggers versus whatever. I don't know. I feel like if you want to have fun, go Rogues. If you need execution, go Street Justice. And if you just want more damage, Cat Burglar, fine. Yeah, I was trying to play a little bit of everything, various different types of characters and not just Maeve. So I do apologize if you feel like there's a lack thereof different character gameplay, but I will be including other clips from me playing Batu, Vora, Moji, just other flanks. But generally the video is not even about me playing one specific character, it's about flanking in general. If I missed anything, or if any of the advice that you see provided by my other friends that I asked them to put their input is not correct, or you want to add something or suggest something in there, you feel free to do so in the comments. Keep it cordial. If you act like an asshole, I will block you because you can suck my dick. But besides that, yeah, I'm open to everything. There's always that one asshole that wants to be actually, yeah, we're not dealing with actuallys in this video. You can go on AndrewChicken's chat or some shit. I don't know. We're not know-it-alls here. We're noobs having fun memeing, and this is more beginner and intermediate based anyway. So hope you enjoy the video. Let's get started. So first we're going to break down what the flank class is in Paladins. So the flank class is basically indirect offense is what the fandom, and I'm using the paladinsarchive.fandom.com wiki, and I'll link that in the below the video so you can check it out, as well as other streamers who give really good advice and guides on flanking more in depth if you are curious or new to the game, or maybe you've been playing for a while and maybe we're more of a support or damage and you're just experimenting with a different class. Either way, you're basically doing, what they call poke damage, so just continuous, little damage to help take out who needs to be taken out. But basically, you involve, it involves surprising enemies, going behind them, maybe going off to the side and throwing them off. The thing about flanking is that you have a few characters that are in the flank category that some people would even consider, they do so much damage that they could be considered a damage champion. So you do have a lot of options with the various types of flanks that are available to be played, in the different styles, the different moves, ultimates, and abilities, and what have you. So you really, have a lot to play around with when it comes to that. The only thing to keep in mind is that you have lower health, but your, attacks are more faster and more powerful. So you have to really think about what you're doing and utilize your brain to strategize the best way, or plan of action. There's a lot that goes into it as far as planning. I mean, some people just dive straight in, and you can do that, but all honestly that's going to do is just feed the other team more kills. You don't want to do that, there's a few times in my gameplay you're gonna see where you're like, oh, why didn't you retreat? Like, you should have retreated. I am another person that, you know, doesn't retreat when I need to sometimes, but a lot of the times I've gotten better about it, and it really does make a difference to come back and get healing, or if you can't get healing, take cover and maybe play around the map. The more you play these maps, the more you'll utilize the flank routes, and sometimes even go a riskier route if you need to. Knowing how to manage your cooldowns, and we'll talk about that in a bit, will also help you. A very popular question that gets asked in the Paladins community is, what is the difference between the damage and flank classes in Paladins? Flank are designed to kill enemies behind their front lines, whereas the damage are designed to kill the enemies standing on the front lines. Now, this does not always mean, like, it's not set in stone. Sometimes you may need to alternate roles to get things done. If someone on your team is better at flanking and they're rolling damage, don't be afraid to ask for help, pushing together to, you know, get the job done. Flanking attack strategy is one where you focus on a competitor's weak points. You attack these in order to dislodge them in the upper hand. Now, I learned something new when I was researching this. Apparently, the name comes from a military strategy that's describing flanking from one side. One thing to keep in mind is certain flank champions are better for certain matchups. Considering, you know, what a person's build is and their capabilities are, their own personal knowledge of their characters, their counters and the maps, etc. But what I was saying is basically that certain maps are made for certain flanks. Certain flanks just don't work on certain maps, and you're going to learn this. When I first started playing, I wasn't even aware that other characters in your team, your allies, have cards in their decks that can boost you, that can buff your abilities, give you even more health, more ammo, more movement, more ult generation. These things I learned with time can be very useful, especially if you're in a stack, but even if you're with randoms and you just so happen to come across someone who knows what they're doing and has a good build. Working with your teammates, that's what this game's all about. Now we're getting into the fun part of the video where I ask my viewers and some of my friends what their advice, you know, and some tips that they have for flanking. I posted in the Discord multiple times, you know, asking you guys' opinion, and to be honest, I was a little disappointed. There wasn't a lot of participation there. I don't know if people thought I was joking or like being sarcastic, but like, no one's gonna judge you. Like, this is all for fun and games, and honestly, I'm just doing this with the hopes that it'll help a lot of the newer players. So this message comes from Jess. She says, maybe as a new flank player, some things I worry about is who are the best and worst flanks right now, higher HP versus difficulty and keeping yourself alive. So she's talking about like dueling, like 1v1, in some cases 2 or 3v1. What items are good to buy as a flank, and whether or not to run nimble. So again, this is all personal preference, and like, honestly, a lot of people won't admit it, but it really comes down to your confidence as a flank. Do you do well being more stealthy and very careful about the plays you make, or are you a hard diver, and can you or can you not be able to get in and out of trouble unscathed, or at least retreat enough to make a difference? So some of the things that I would pretty much go over when it comes to this, when I read this, is when she's talking about the dueling is super important, because you need to be able to understand, like, are you or are you not going to be able to kill the people that you're up against? For example, in some of my Maeve clips, I went up against 2 damages that I could easily kill, which was a Tyra and a Willow. Now, let's be honest, if you're watching the video and actually paying attention to the plays and what map I'm on and who I'm going against, the players that I went against, I can tell, like, they were, I'm not going to say like they weren't the best, they weren't that good, but like compared to my level, and I'm not that great either, so that says a lot. Like, they were clearly newer players. So I think when you can pretty much read the situation for what it is and kind of get a gist of like a person's, or gauge a person's like skill level, that'll kind of help in your confidence on whether or not you should or should not push, or, you know, finish off someone that you are starting to duel with. So Itachi makes a great point here, and I did bring this up earlier. Cooldown management is literally your best friend as a flank. Literally, no bullshit. Like, you need to be mindful of when you use your abilities. Now, a lot of times, you know, if you're like me, you're gonna panic. It makes sense. I have gotten into a habit with certain flanks. I know exactly when to use what ability when I'm going against a certain comp or a certain person or a certain character. For example, like I mentioned earlier with Maeve, she has a Q ability which heals her and can offer some damage reduction, which can be very, very useful when you're dueling and, you know, maybe their healer pops up out of nowhere or a second person pops up out of nowhere. You can at least get your reset to retreat and reposition. Another reason why managing your cooldowns is super important, because sometimes your abilities can heal you, and quite frequently a lot of flanks tend to, you know, sit there and complain and bitch at the entire team for things that they purposely just cannot do. A lot of the times, if you can't kill something, communicate that with your team so they can either make the space for you or help you flank. Either way, working together versus working against each other is the way to go. A lot of the times, you know, you may be up against people who are a lot better than you, and honestly, you know, if you're not getting stomped, that means you have a chance. It's when people give up that you just, you know, there's no coming back from that. You have to know, you know, your bounds and what you're capable of, and just let your teammates know that so they can help you in any way that they can. This one's not really advice. I was just scrolling through my Discord trying to like see who all responded to, you know, my announcement that I was, you know, going to include people's like stuff in the video. I found this one and I thought it was funny. It's not, again, advice. It's just Chill Boy just, you know, venting in our Discord about, I guess someone called him a trash healer. So let's just say you are the healer in the group, right? And you have a flank that is, let's just say they are newer. They don't quite understand what they're supposed to do. So, you know, if they're struggling and, you know, you just so happen to tell them, hey, I see you can't kill the healer. That's okay. Let's just say they're playing someone like Vora or Maeve, right? Vora and Maeve, and even Zin, have abilities to hit things from afar. The only problem with that is that certain characters have damage drop off, whereas some don't. For example, Zin, it's like a combo. The first, second, and third, you know, swipes of his sword. The third one is always a vertical one that does 850 damage, no matter how far away they are. Whereas Vora does tick damage, you know, from afar. Maeve with the 2 daggers, they're going cat burglar, you can hit somebody from afar. So it's just a few people that you can run to, you know, adjust to your positioning. If you're playing someone like Seven, Batu, Eevee, you have to be in their face. Even Talus, you know, you have to be in their face. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And I know that scares some people, especially if you're new. I mean, for me, when I was new, and even still now, like when I flank, I always get this nervousness about it because it really makes you get up close and personal with them sometimes. Now, this isn't all the time. Only sometimes you have to do that. You just have to be smart enough to know how to get out of a situation. If you're getting ganged up on, look around. You don't have a lot of time to make decisions because you could be killed in an instant with how much damage being dealt to you. If you've got cover, play around it. If there's an opening somewhere, utilize your skills to use what's in your kit to get out. You have movement speed built in your kit, and these characters, some of them are built in with a lot of movement speed just in their base kit. You know, for example, Maeve, the ability to run or even right click upwards to get some airtime. Either way, there's ways to get out of situations. if you look real closely at one of my Zen clips, you're gonna see that a Zen was literally in the middle ulting me, and my BK and Khan, mind you, these are randoms, these are not my friends. A BK and Khan come to literally rescue me. Dead ass. Khan went to go grab him, and BK just so happened to hit the Zen. His aim was great. He hit the Zen as he was ulting me. Saved me. You see me go into Billow to save myself. You know, and I retreat back to my raid, come to find her in the middle, you know, we just cap the point, and I get my heals, and boom, we move on. Like, that was such a great team play right there, and it's a great example of what I was talking about with teammates helping each other out. Because, like, literally, for the most part, most flanks, like I said, they're already fast as is, but some flanks do require that extra bit of nimble, and honestly, if you just want to be a jerk, that's super fast. Like, nimble's never a bad buy. Some people you don't really need to get nimble on. Me personally, I always buy nimble first as a support or a flank, unless I'm dealing with a comp that I see that they're running something that requires me to get Rezeal first, or honestly, sometimes in the rare occasion, Haven, but Haven's more expensive now, so I've changed the way I buy because Haven is just more expensive. It used to not be that expensive, but now I'm just like, bruh, whatever. So, honestly, I can't really think of anything else. If you guys have any other things that you want to include in the bottom below, be sure to do so. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. I try to keep it as casual as possible, so it's more like a conversation rather than a damn lecture. Again, I appreciate all of you that have watched this. Share it with your friends, comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys.